Hi everybody, I'm Margaret Lewin and welcome to Margaret Lewin Quilting. Today I'm going to be reviewing block number 4 of our AJ's tree. So let's get to it. AJ's tree is an extremely long block. Okay, you can see that there's this big long panel. The reason for that is it actually goes on the right side if you're looking at the quilt of the quilt. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove my ribbon or my bows so that you can really see the block. I'll set those right there. The second thing I want to do is show you the template that you're going to get along with your pattern instructions. See this R up here at the very top? This R on the instructions is cut off only because it just really didn't fit right on the instructions. So this is substantially smaller than what it really is. If you look at this piece, this is R. All of this fabric here is R. So it is quite long, okay? So let's start here at the very bottom and we'll work our way right on up. This is your piece W and it's just a nice piece of background fabric. This is the first piece where you're going to start putting things together. And you can see over here you've got your U piece. And what this is just a filler of the background fabric. Then you've got your 2 4 1/4 inch squares and you've got a ribbon in between. You've got another piece of ribbon and then you've got your 2 smaller squares, which I think are 2 1/2 by 4 1/4. And then you've got your little ribbon spacer there. How I would put it together is I would either start here or here and put these 2 pieces and attach them to the ribbon. Then I would add the long piece of ribbon. Then I would put these 2 pieces together to the ribbon. So one here, one here. Then I would sew this to this ribbon. So what you're doing is really just breaking it up into steps. Once you get this all done, then I would put your U piece and your V piece onto the block. So these are just your 2 background pieces of fabric. Now if you wanted to, you could add this entire block to your W piece, or you can wait and do all of them all at once. That's your decision. The next block that you're going to be working on is right here. And when we look at the picture, it's really all of this. Okay? So let's go piece by piece because that makes it easier. The first piece that you've got is your 2A blocks. Now mine are blue polka dots. Then you've got a background piece. Then you've got another A piece, 2 more B pieces, and then a bunch of different ribbons. So let's go through them one at a time. This is your first block, which again is just a piece of background fabric. And I would do this block next. And all you're going to do is take your 4 1/4 blue dot and add it to your, what's this one? This one's E. You're going to add it to your E strip. And this is 4 1/4 by 1 1/2. Then you can turn around and add this block here to your background piece. And I think that's a great way to do it. This background piece is actually labeled T. The next thing that I would suggest that you do is just keep working up the block. So I would do your 4 1/4, your purple dot ribbon, and then your 4 1/4 blue dot. I would sew your purple A to your purple dot, then I would sew your blue dot to your purple dot, and then you've got all those pieces together. Once you've pressed it, at that stage, I would add your C purple dot, which is your long piece of ribbon. I think this one measures 1 1/2 by 9, I believe is what it measures. Then you're going to add your smaller purple pieces to your purple dot. We got a lot of purples going on. So I would add one side to the dot, then the other side. Then take this entire strip and add it to your long piece of ribbon. So now what's happened is you have a block like this, I think. At this point, let me get all of it into the frame. You've got from here to here done. You don't have this. So then once you've pressed this, and I'll go over the pressing in just a minute, you're going to then add this spacer piece, which is your letter S, I believe. Yep, this one's S. And that's going to put the whole block together. And that's the block we're talking about. So again, you can add, let's see, your block here to this one, and then you'd have one long piece, or you can wait and do it all when it's all finished. Then the last piece to add to block number 4 is this great big long R piece that we've already talked about. You can see it's substantially long. Mine needs pressing again, but that's the very last piece that you're going to add to it. Now I'm going to turn it over and let you see how I went about pressing it. This entire quilt is really cool in the fact that because we've used so much background fabric, the tree and the packages are really going to float because you're not going to see that background color. You're going to see all the color of the tree and the boxes. So when you press this, I'm going to warn you, you're really going to want to try your very best, number 1, to clip your threads. See these threads here? I got to get rid of those before I go putting it on a long arm. Because see, now this purple piece, this little thread landed here. If I leave that there and I go to quilt it, there's a good chance it's going to show through. So I really want to make sure all my strings are not there. They're all clipped and looking good. The other thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you press in towards the print. Reason being is if your print, let's say it went this way, and let's say your print was a smidgen longer, or even because it's a light print, you could create a shadow. You're going to see that on the other side of the quilt. And we want to try our best not to. If it happens, it happens. But we want to try our best not to. And like I said, if it happens, it happens. Take a look at this. See, this one was pressed towards the background fabric. And I really should have pressed it in. So when I go to put this on the long arm, I'm going to need to be really, really careful to make sure that I don't have any threads like this one right here. Okay, you can see on the inside, the long ribbon, one was pressed. They were actually both pressed down, which is fine. I pressed these in, I pressed this one out. And the only thing that you want to make sure, like I've said, is that you are pressing towards the print, because then you're not going to see it on the other side. Here is your next block right here. This was the biggest one that we did in block 4. And again, you can see for the most part, I pressed towards the print so that it won't show through, which is important to me. And then again, press towards the print when I added these blocks together. You can see that right there. So that is all there is to block 4. So the very next thing we're going to be doing is we are actually going to be putting this quilt all together. And it is just 4 blocks that go together, and it's going to be so cute. I cannot wait to do it. Once we've sewn the blocks together and once my quilt is all quilted, then I'm going to be adding my ribbons. Which one goes where? Do you guys remember? This one goes here and this one goes here. So up next is going to be sewing our quilt together. Then I'm going to show you how I decided to long arm it. Once it's long arm, we're going to be putting our ribbons on. So I'll see you again really soon for putting the quilt together. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am so glad you did. Don't forget to pop on out to our Facebook page and make certain that you post pictures of your AJ's tree. There are some out there already and they are absolutely adorable. I'm in love with all of them. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again really soon. Bye.